Ayub Khan introduced some new laws in order to purge the country of corruption and corrupt elements. The notable of those laws were ABDO, Elected Bodies Disqualification Order, whereby the politicians were disqualified or they were given the option to retire from the politics. Another law was PODO, Public Officials Disqualification Order. By this law, many of the public officials were punished. But the most important reforms that Ayub Khan introduced was his system of basic democracies. It was a system of 5 tiers with advisory council at the top and union council for the rural areas and union committee for the urban areas at the bottom. Union council and union committee were probably the most important tiers of this system because these were completely representative. All the members were elected directly by the people, and the chairman of these councils were also elected by the members of the councils. And the members of the union council and union committee were called basic democrats, and their total strength was 80,000, 40,000 for each part of the country, I mean East and West Pakistan. A union council and union committee were actually the governments at grassroots level, which were supposed to solve the problems of the people at their doorsteps. But later on, an important function was also assigned to these two councils, which was to serve as an electoral college for the election of the president and the member of the national and provincial assemblies. Ayub Khan, as we all know, when he imposed the martial law, he became the de facto ruler. But afterwards, when his martial law was validated by the Supreme Court of Pakistan in Dosul's case, he became de jure ruler as well, but he was still not the legitimate ruler. Legitimacy is an ethical concept. It's a certificate of approval of the government by the people. So Ayub wanted to become the legitimate ruler as well. So he held a referendum in 1960. In that referendum, only the basic democrats were allowed to vote, who elected Ayub Khan by a vast majority. Actually, more than 97% of the basic democrats voted in favor of Ayub Khan in that presidential referendum. So Ayub Khan became the president of Pakistan in 1960. After becoming the president, Ayub decided to give this country a constitution. For that purpose, a commission headed by Justice Shahabuddin was constituted. The commission was assigned two responsibilities. Number one, the commission was to investigate into the causes of the failure of parliamentary democracy in Pakistan and also to present recommendations to prevent its recurrence. The second was the commission was to present recommendations for the future constitution of Pakistan by keeping in view the genius of the people of Pakistan and the requirement of a country which has embarked upon an ambitious program of economic and social development. The commission presented its report on 6th of May 1961 to Ayub Khan, and according to the report of the commission, the parliamentary democracy in Pakistan failed because of many reasons, which included undue intervention of the head of the state in the governmental affairs and also of the central government in the provincial affairs, insincere and corrupt politicians, unorganized and weak political parties, defective constitution of 1956, lack or the absence of elections. For the constitution making, Commission recommended a presidential form of government with adequate checks and balance, and there was also a suggestion for a vice president, a bicameral legislature which was to be elected directly by the people on the basis of adult franchise, restricted adult franchise, a comprehensive system of fundamental rights, complete restoration of the writ jurisdiction of the judiciary, free working of political parties. On receiving the report from the commission, Ayub Khan convened the meeting of the cabinet where the report was evaluated, reviewed, and then a subcommittee of the cabinet under the chairmanship of Manzoor Qadir was established to prepare its own report in the light of the recommendations of the commission. So in this way, Ayub wanted to have two alternative options so he could choose one of its own liking. When the committee also prepared its report, then a governor's conference was convened in October 1961, where both the reports were evaluated, and a drafting committee was also constituted. And it was also decided in the governor's conference that the president will share the basic outline of the constitution with the people soon. But Ayub Khan, in his public broadcast, introduced the constitution in its entirety on 1st of March 1962. So that is how the constitution of 1962 was framed.